All right. So, what's going on, everybody? So, I'm very, very excited. Brad here, one of our inner circle members, on the interview today. Before I dive into Brad, can you share a little about who you are and what you do?
Thanks, Marcus. Thanks for having me, mate. It's awesome to chat to you one on one. What I do, so I'm from New Zealand, as you probably tell by the accent, way down in the bottom of the world, right? Where there's more sheep than people, but there's plenty of jokes to go with that too, I'm
I
sure.
love it.
Uh, there, there's What I do is I'm the sales and specification manager for an insulation company, and that insulation company is called Terralana. Uh, and funnily enough, I make a joke about sheep, but we make all of our products out of sheep's wool. Yeah, you have to pardon the pun. But I've been working in the construction industry for near on 20 years now. And through that time, I've only worked with two or three companies. I'm now with Terralana and been there 5 years. Love what I do, working with architects, builders, so specifiers, builders, homeowners, helping them to make decisions around the best products to use. And our company's focused on sustainability and looking for better solutions in the industry. So I love it. Yeah, I love what I do.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to have you here. So, before you and I started working together, what was a problem or challenge you were running into before you joined our program?
I would say one of the main problems that I had was around organization and motivation. And really, sales can be a lonely business. You can, someone personality that I have is to strive and grow and continue to improve things and do better. And that can be quite lonely. As I think you've said, at the
Mhm.
top, not that I'm saying I'm at the top, but as you keep pushing and striving and growing, there, the ear's thin up there. It's and
Right.
the people that you hang around with, it can become challenging to keep on, keep that motivation up. And so one of the things for me was really around community, and also getting that continual hit of motivation and inspiration every week. That wasn't just you can get it from podcasts, you can get it from things, but real looking for something that could help specifically for what I do.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, for us, why did you choose our program in particular to join versus any other program?
Look, I looked at a couple of other programs, and I actually had an interview with a couple of people around their programs. And one particular program, I felt like it was just, I interviewed the guy, and he was in this uh, big, um, like lazy boy, and it just looked like it was just staged, like in a,
Mhm.
he was in a mansion or something. And it was very much like, this is what this is what I'm offering. And it sounded all great, and then it came down to the price, and it was like, 30 grand or something for a year. And I just, and I know there's programs that offer that sort of thing. That sort of pricing is not out of the ordinary, but it felt fake to me. And when I had a conversation with you, it's always tricky to navigate through, because you're a salesman, I'm a salesman. you know, we're having this conversation. You're talking about your program, so yeah. But I really felt like you were genuine in your approach, and I felt like there was going to be value there. So you never quite know when you go into these things, other than looking at testimonials and other people's experience, and everything was really positive. And I think the key with these programs is value. Like anything in the world, people, when you spend money, you want to know you're going to get value and something in return for that money, right?
Hmm. I love it, man.
Yeah.
So for
Mm.
you, First off, thanks. I appreciate, you choose me over the lazy boy guy, which is awesome. And, and
Yeah.
maybe I should charge
I think you
more
need
for
a
my
lazy boy in
program.
your office here.
I should get one, kind of lounge out, kind of see how it goes, right? So
Yeah.
I love that. So after you joined, what were some of your personal proudest outcomes for yourself after you joined our program?
Some of the main things that I got from the program was around a strategy. So prior to coming onto the program, like I said, I've been in sales for 20 years, and the good thing about that is you build up a lot of relationships. Like New Zealand's not a big place, right? 5 million people across the whole country. People get to know who you are, and you do a good job, get a good reputation, and I hope I've got that. And your business just, it grows, and I've always focused on relationships and building business that way, which is good because you build a lot of trust, and not everybody likes you, but I found that worked for me. However, it's also limiting. It's limiting with certain customers, certain clients that want to use your products, and being able to have the skills to navigate and negotiate the different personality types and different, really looking at the way that I was presenting in to groups of people, architects, builders, and the way I was doing it was the way that I just organically created it for myself, and hadn't really got the structure from anybody. So being able to what your program did for me was really break everything down, go back to the start and say, hey, what are your goals? Identifying all those things and really looking at who you are, or who I was for a start, and developing where I want to go, who I want to be, and then developing the skills on top of that, because you can have the skill set, and you can learn that anywhere, I think, and to a degree. But it's it's really being able to have something in a structured form, and then the support to be able to follow through. And because sometimes it's that support, I think, that you can buy any program online, but then it's up to you to do it, which it always is. But having support is so much better.
Oh yeah.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense? Felt like I went
100%.
way off topic.
Well, I mean, I think you're spot on, right? Where it's ultimately in your spawn, there's so many people that can buy just maybe an online course or read a book or whatever. But ultimately, programs like this that give you that support is what helps with the execution, right? Doesn't mean you're perfect by any means, but when you have the combination of the constant support and clear direction, it increases your chances of executing, which increases your chances of success, and that's why it's been amazing, right? I mean, even earlier today, I mean, I think you told me your company's basically maxed out for production now. Is that right? You're maxed out for production.
Yeah. So we are. Like when I started the program, sales were pretty hit and miss. Like we were consistent, and the business was growing anyway through the work that I'd done. But it's really in the last, I think I've been on the program now, since the start of the year? Is that right?
So
I think yeah.
I think we're at 9-10 months now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 10 months. So, I would say that since then, like at the moment, and there's a couple of reasons for it as well, as what COVID's done. We've had lockdowns, and then everything's opened back up. There's been such a demand for local product, and all of the strategies that I've implemented and the relationships I've built up, what it does is if they can't get other products that are imported because shipping costs have gone up so much, procurement of materials has been hard, it's been challenging. So they're looking local and looking for products that are more sustainable like ours. And I think it's a combination of things. It's a combination of the new skills that I've learned, but also the market is ripe for our sort of product as well.
Awesome, man. I love it. And if you don't know if it's okay, but if you compare to, say, year over year sales? Where do you think you guys are right now, year over year?
I would say this year currently, the best gauge for me, and I think for this program, is not so much sales dollar figures, because we are uh, we're subject to machinery which breaks down, and
Totally.
we have all of these things which are challenging being a manufacturer. So the best gauge for me is really on specification, because
Mm.
that's what I do. So architects that specify a product, they put that on the plans, that goes through to the builders, they price our product, and doesn't always go onto the job, but a lot of the time it does. So
Yeah.
we want to hit the architects and educate them first and foremost. So what I've found with that is that we've specifications this year have probably grown, have grown around about 30%. So I've gone from
Wow.
300, about 170 specifications last year to we'll hit 300. So actually it's more
Wow.
like, almost double. So
Almost double. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah, so that's not just the demand from clients and builders. That's actually the education and the process at the architectural end, and them specifying it on the plans. So, and that growth is looking like, I think, will start to go exponentially, because it just word of mouth,
Correct.
market awareness, and all of those things that you've taught around the social marketing, which has been a massive help for us as well.
Awesome, man. I love it. So, where do you think, you'd be right now if you hadn't taken action and joined our program?
Well, look, I'd be where I probably the same place that I was prior to the program, right? I mean, it's unfortunately we're creatures of habit, and like I mentioned to you before starting the interview, that we don't like change that much. We like certainty,
Mhm.
and I think without this program, I would have just carried on doing what I was doing, unaware of some of the pitfalls that I was creating for myself. So to go through that self-analysis and the introversion, or the introspective time
Yeah.
of looking at myself, and I'm regularly doing that, right? Because it's not just a one-off thing that you
Right.
do. I think that if I hadn't done the program, I would still be feeling like, it, not knowing why I don't get customers across the line like the bigger firms. That's probably where I've found the most successes, and I've always had good success with smaller firms with 3, 5, 7 staff, because you can build quite a lot of rapport quite quickly with smaller. But the bigger firms, where they have 30, 40, 50, 100 staff, a lot harder to get them on board. And so what I've found is, with those clients, that we've had a lot more success and growth, and bigger projects as well, big commercial projects. So I don't think I would have, uh, yeah, I don't think I would have got a lot of that business if it wasn't for creating that strategy and recognizing that what was really important in the business, rather than just going out like a shotgun scattergun approach, right, and just trying to do everything, which I can be guilty of. It's about being able to focus in on what was important, and looking at the customers that are going to that have the potential to give us a lot of business, rather than spending so much time on some firms that you just, it's almost like in my nature to being in sports when I was growing up. It's like just competition. I'll just keep hitting them until I get them across the line. But at some point, you've got to actually realize that there's lower hanging fruit. There are other clients and businesses out there that I could spend half the time and get better results from. So it's all of those things combined, really, that I don't think I would have been anywhere near where I am now. More around my awareness of sales skills, those specific closing techniques and other things that, again, you can listen on podcasts and all sorts of things. And I have done that, but it's actually having a program to systematically work through and then be able to get on that weekly call with you guys and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I love how you're so patient with us, because, even though it might be in the program, you just run over it again, or you might look at it a different way or apply it, but it's specific to my situation, right, which is so unlike any other program that I see. Normally, if you're dealing with someone in sales, like a consultant, you're dealing with not the person that owns the consultant business. You're dealing with one of their salespeople or their consultants. So to be able to have that weekly conversation directly with you, and you just make that so easy, and there's never pressure around time. So I know you and I have had good conversations, right, for, it could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes up to 45 minutes, just to really nail down some of those key things. And that's what I've loved the most, is that your success through what you've done, for me, it's about drawing from that for my own skill set, and being able to, take the meat and throw away the bones, for want of a better term. It's really taking the good stuff, and anything that doesn't apply or doesn't fit, you just let it go.
I love it, man. I mean, such a great analogy, and I appreciate you're right. I mean, here's reality. Some of the questions you asked, I believe other people think the same thing, and this really gives them context and really helps them more than you believe, actually, without you even realizing it. So now, if there was somebody who was, watching this, on the fence about joining our program, what would you say? Because I remember early on, you were on the fence too. You're a little bit on the fence, and then you said, "I'm going to make it happen." So if someone was watching this now, they're on the fence. Yeah. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I think I probably answered it in that last question, to be honest. Like, I think some of the key things I love about the program and about working with you are your passion for what you do. Every time we get on a call, it's like, for me, it might be 4 a.m. So I've just got out of bed or whatever. I'm at the gym, and we're trying to have this conversation while I'm doing like leg presses or something. But it's, but I think if someone was on the fence, it's really you get in what, you get out what you put in, like any program. And I feel program with you is really so specifically tailored to anybody that wants to join. So I'm not a straight direct sales person, as I mentioned before. It's a bit more of the long game for me, and I love that you're able to adapt the techniques for me, because a lot of the other people in the program are direct sales. So it's about the numbers and conversions, and how many times you pick up the phone and make the calls, and it's similar for me, but it's different. So I would say, if someone on the fence, it's really, if you're wanting a program that is able to take you from looking at yourself for a start, and looking at we all know in ourselves what pitfalls are, where we lose motivation, where we struggle with with different things, right? Whether it's finances, whether it's relational stuff, marital stuff, whatever it might be. I think what this program does is it allows you to look inside and create some really clear goals for yourself. From there, being able to look at a strategy that's not just 5 minutes, here's a few key points, and you'll be away. It's actually super thorough. And the notes, I've basically filled a whole book full of notes. And notes are good, implement them. And you know, I've struggled a bit with that with personally myself. But then I come into Thursday weekly call and it's just like motivation, their inspiration just kicks right up again. You know, it's just so I think if you're wanting a place where you've got community, that they're all like-minded people that are wanting to succeed in their own way, whatever success means to them. And again, you're great at tailoring for everybody. Like success, even going on this program, in a lot of ways, isn't to improve my income as much as it is to just holistically look at my life and my situation and say, hey, how can I be more rounded, more balanced in what I'm doing? And your ability to be able to adapt and kind of connect everything as well has been amazing. So, look, I think it's just that if you're wanting value, you know, for the investment that I've given, that everybody gives at the outset, I think that the value, the fact that it's a lifetime, you know, kind of one-off, or you know, lifetime or one-off payment for that, and the ongoing value that's there, I think is really second to none that I've experienced. You know, and that community, like I said, and that ongoing one-on-one support if you need it, sending you a text or a voice message and just saying, hey, I'm really struggling with this, or what would you say to that? And you always take the time. I know you're busy, but you always take the time, and it's always with a positive attitude. And yeah, so I think it's a combination of being able to, you know, if you want to stay motivated and have those strategies and that community to you know, have like-minded people around you, I think that would be what I would what I would say. I feel like it took me 10 minutes to answer that question. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I mean, what I love is you're just speaking from the heart, right? You're speaking from the heart about how you really feel, and to me, thank you. It means a lot to me, right? Because obviously, I love the success you're having. I love your openness for feedback, your openness to share how you're really feeling and the challenges. Because ultimately, when you do that, we all become better. So it means a lot to me. So, Brett, any last things to say before we wrap up?
No, I think I've covered it. I just want to say, you know, even our conversation before this, I think it's again, I mentioned to you about how I'm in a space at the moment of kind of oscillation where getting that motivation back, and you know, even this call is kind of like, you know, after we finish this call, I'm going to go back to my notes and just be like, okay, where do I need to focus again? You know, what, because it is a constant thing. It's constantly fighting against those inner kind of you know, habits, the old habits, right, that just pull us into things that that we know aren't good for us, and can be, whether it's a distraction, whether it's just a simply time wasting or spending your time on things that aren't productive. You know, I think again, just this conversation and like everyone I have with you is just, yeah, it's motivating, inspiring, and it's great to chat with you. So nothing further to say, mate.
Well, awesome, Brad. Well, again, thanks so much, man, for being in the program. Thanks for being such a superstar, and I appreciate it. And thank you for everyone for watching this awesome interview. See you, everyone.